with session
All right.
21 of the Electric Dice podcast, AD&D Tomoto
Hopefully.
Islands. What?
Hopefully, I'm having it load up to see if it'll...
Oh, yeah, I'm trying to do the same. Or maybe
Oh,
it's a joke, a cruel, evil, mean joke.
we made it.
Well, I see a new area, but me as a player, I don't see a new area, so
Oh.
that's probably intentional.
No, it's not. I'm just dumb.
I'm watching a commercial.
Let me just go ahead and slide you over to the map, lovingly entitled First Floor, which actually is
Nice.
obscured by the...
There is some lovely audio playing as well.
Can you hear us or no?
Yeah, I
Did
heard
we do the
myself
thing?
talking.
No.
I
Oh,
think
good.
we did the thing.
I think we
Yeah,
did
we're
it.
live. We've been live.
We exist. It's provable. Oh, okay. Well, as we have discussed a little bit in some of the character generation, for those of us who are just joining us, the party has been invited to a masquerade ball, or a masquerade party. It's very exciting times on the Tomoto Islands, Tomoto South specifically, and Lord Velldammer, the owner, the operator, the keeper of Velldammer. I think I'm saying that right. That's not my actual English, but I'm trying. He is... What is that? Does anyone else hear that, or is it just me?
I can't hear anything.
Papers,
Okay, maybe it's just in the distance and I'm crazy. He's invited nobles from all across, like, the two Tomoto Islands, from the Port Sidrock, and it's like a trade city, so, you know, like, there was a few, like, kind of visiting nobles nearby too, as well as, like, some of the local clergy, some of the local heroes, and then, like, a few other people. You're not entirely sure, like, what qualified, like, some of these people to be here, but here they are nonetheless. You're just gonna have to go along with it for now. And the first thing we have to decide is if everyone could roll a d4. I want to see who has arrived first. Okay. So Riley playing Leopold.
Yes.
Leopold, you were the first to arrive. Did you arrive by boat or by land?
Um.
I need to know how many candles to hold in the window.
I ride by land.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Carriage, horseback. Did you walk?
Yes, I walked on my own 2 footsies. No, carriage.
Carriage. Okay. Cool. What did I do to that? I'm like trying to watch along. Pull it up on my iPad, and it seems to have like died miserably. Died a death. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Maybe we're back.
Oh my gosh, every time I zoom out, it keeps kicking me out of Roll20.
Yeah, I had like a heck of a time trying to set this map up, and I'm still like not super happy with it. Like the design of it's fine enough, but like it doesn't fit in Roll20 super well, and that's kind of irritating. So what did I do there? No, that's right. I'm terrible at this. Okay. Yeah, so as you're kind of coming up on the grounds, pretty big place. It's about 200 feet long. It's like 140 to 180 feet wide, with 2 massive sweeping staircases right off, like, arguably the front of the house. If you go like way into the back here, where you can't see it, and neither can people online because I don't have that much editing capabilities. There's like a kind of a switchback step down into the water. Right, like it's kind of overlooking a cliffside. These stairs take you up to what they're calling the first floor, but it's really kind of the second, right? You're up off the ground, and then they've like dug into the earth to make the basement, and then like the sub-basement and the wine cellar and everything. Just like basic architectural stuff you're noticing. There are tons of statues all over the place, right? Just kind of all through like the gardens and everything. Pretty fancy, pretty nice, pretty ritzy. The whole place has like torches and candles all in the windows and everything, although most of them are not lit yet because you have arrived pretty early. You were actually here at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah, you. There are very few people, and in fact, like the grooms. I don't know what the like just like the stable boys and like the some of the servants around like kind of like look back and forth between each other like, oh, we weren't expecting anyone this early. What do we do with this guy?
Just like, oh god.
So you pull up and they kind of get their stuff together pretty quickly, and someone like is willing to like help you down off the carriage if you prefer, or if you're a strapping young man and can do it yourself.
I'm fully capable myself. Thank you.
Okay. Are you already garbed in masquerade gear, or are you looking normal?
Oh gosh, I probably wouldn't have put that stuff on for the trek here.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't think so, right? Like, maybe the people who are arriving later might, but...
I'm a bit upset at the carriage driver currently.
Oh, because you didn't want
to
to
arrive
arrive
this early? I was supposed to arrive fashionably late.
Oh, yeah. He got turned around, but he got turned around while trying to waste time and got you here.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So I'm quite upset.
Yeah. Well, they look around, they kind of... One of them whispers something, and, like a butler who is clearly, like, in charge, comes up to you with, like, just the air of just, like, he's so apologetic, and he's very sorry that this has happened, and he doesn't know... He will find someone and make them be responsible. But for now, he can let you into the drawing room, or he can let you in to the maps room, whichever you would prefer. He insists he doesn't want you to see the place in this frightfully disheveled state.
Oh, that's quite understandable. Thank you. I'll go to the drawing room currently, I suppose.
Yeah. Yes, this is 1,001 pardons, master. And then he does that thing where he's like, I know you have an invitation, so clearly you're going to give it to me now.
Yes, of course, I would hand that over.
Okay.
I do have an invitation, right?
Well, now that's an interesting question, isn't it? You have a reason for being here.
I do. I feel like I would have been invited.
Yeah, you also have, some skills, a special set of skills that you've acquired over many years.
That is true.
But you have a real invitation?
I would believe so, because my character is a well-known, like, healer for the nobles. It's something that I'm, like, well-regarded amongst the community, so
sure,
they appreciate the work I do, and I've saved, like, countless lives.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I like it. So, yeah, do you have, like, a little suitcase, more or less? Did you bring a trunk of any kind?
Yeah, I brought a few of my effects,
Okay.
especially, like, the masquerade costume and such.
Yeah,
a few other tools.
He checks with you beforehand. He says, as you know, you're very familiar, all of the guests will be staying in the cottages on the grounds. Can I bring this, over for you while you, spend some time and ready yourself as we ready the house in the drawing room?
Of course.
Okay, cool. So you are separated from your gear. Would you like a number?
Yes, give me a little numbered ticket.
Yeah, it's all the rage. He gives you number 3.
Ooh.
Okay.
Thank you. What a wonderful number.
Yeah, and he begins to bring you along. Now, as you're coming up these stairs here, right? These are the double set of doors that lead like to the grand atrium and the ballroom, right? Like they're extraordinarily closed right now. But he and I didn't draw it. They have like they have a couple doors that they put up and a couple screens to like keep stuff like secure and everything. He takes you through here into the drawing room. And again he bows. But as you're kind of going up these stairs, you can see that there are 3 other butlers that are like kind of strategically placed, at odds 1, 2, and 3, right? And they're getting attended to by just like a horde of like artists and painters. One of the butlers is being let me double check my notes. I believe one of them is platinum, one of them is gold. I think the other one's silver. I have to double check. Ooh. They're being like painted, and they all have like different like totemic animal effects. Are you interested at all in this, or are you just moving along?
I mean, that is really Cool.
Yep, silver, gold, and platinum. So the platinum just has like some sort of like extra shiny quality, right? Like the silver is a little like tarnished, just to make it stand apart.
Okay, so let me get this correct. These are people being body painted?
Yeah.
Is that what that is?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. They've got like 2 or 3 like artists and like makeup artists basically that are like beginning to put like, you know, outfits onto them. Like one of them looks like he's getting feathers, and another one, the gold one, is getting like cat like whiskers painted onto him.
That's incredibly interesting. Okay. Yeah, I think I'll look at it, but I won't mess with it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you know that's the interesting sight you see as you are moved from, you know, the main hall into the drawing room. What's up?
Is there anyone else currently in the room?
That's what I was about to figure out.
Okay, thanks.
No, you are alone. However, you know, there's lots of things that have been set out into the drawing room. You know, like books, you know, studies. There's you know, like busts and figureheads and stuff kind of out there, right? Lots of like areas where one could lay, you know, and like be a model, and then several areas that are or several like easels that have been put up. Are you checking any of that out, or are you just like making yourself comfortable?
I am looking for the wine.
Oh, that's a good one. So I think, you know, you're kind of poking around, and there's like a lot of like cupboards and drawers and everything that you can get into. Plenty of room, plenty of trouble to get into, and you open up one of them, and can you make a wisdom check? Just roll under your wisdom.
Great. Oh god, I start typing into the wrong box.
Mm.
I don't even know what I rolled. It scrolled me all the way to the top.
Your wisdom is pretty high, but not that high.
No.
Okay. Yeah, you busy yourself with a bottle that you found back there, and you're trying to like, you're thinking about it, and you finally like unstopper the thing. You smack your hand on the top of the cupboard, and and you back up, and you knock over one of the easels, and that goes flying, and it falls down, and you make this horrible like ruckus, right? And your hand smarts, and then you see it's turpentine, so you got to decide if you want to drink that or not.
Do I hit my nose? Does my nose start bleeding?
No, it doesn't. Damn it.
I'm not drinking turpentine. I'm going to put that back.
Okay. Are you concerned at all with the noise you've made, or it's all good? It's all fine.
I mean, I'll start putting stuff back and kind of like just set things up again.
Sure.
Kind of to right my wrong. But I will turn around the corner and talk to at least somebody that looks like they can get me wine.
Sure. You're kind of turning around the corner, and you see the screen has been like drawn completely shut. I mean, certainly you could move it if you wanted to. It wouldn't be that heavy. It just might be a little awkward. But now that the screen has been pulled, you know, completely closed, you can see that there is a small scrap of paper that has been torn from a page. And it is held up by a very small, like a comically small dagger that has been stabbed just into like the wood paneling that they put here.
Like a little push pin.
Yeah, right. Like literally just, yeah.
I will take that note. As I was about to yell for some wine, I will stop myself and then delicately grab this tiny dagger and note.
And it says, an hour past the final tick. Meet me on the balcony. You best be alone.
Okay. So it was an hour past final tick. Final tick? I assume that's like... Would I know what that means?
I mean, you can make an intelligence check if you wanted.
I'll do that.
As you begin perusing it, like last tick, final tick.
Final. What is a tick? Yeah, sure. Art. 20. Oh my god, what is with these high rolls?
Yeah, I think what is the scene we fade out on? Like, what are you doing as we move from your scene to the next scene? Have you like seated yourself down and just absent-mindedly gone after the turpentine, forgetting what it was? So deep in thought.
I guess, yeah. It just be like, I guess, it kind of shrugged my shoulders, like, I guess no wine.
Yeah, maybe just to like keep your dignity. We see you like sniff it again, like maybe. But yeah, and we fade away from that scene before we have to deal with it.
Yeah.
All right, Squid. It is about 3:30 in the afternoon. How have you arrived to Lord Velldammer's full Tammer slot?
She probably came over by boat and then takes a coach over.
Okay, so not boat like onto his actual area. You took a boat from somewhere else.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm down with that. Did you mean to get here this early? Are you pretty new to these sorts of things?
Yeah, this is probably the very first party she's ever been to. She's been pretty much just spending all her time in the church.
Oh, that's funny.
Her first time out.
Yeah, have you been like an adventurer before? Or is this like really, really the first time you're leaving?
This is really the first time she's leaving.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you're like a bit of a, I would say you're a bit of a prodigy, just like growing up in the monastery and the church, to be 6th level. And how old are you?
About 19.
Yeah. So like, what is it about like the clerical ways of Paylor that have spoken to you so?
I hadn't thought that far into it. She was left on the doorstep when she was an infant. They're pretty much the only ones that have shown her any sort of compassion as she's growing up, so she just kind of threw herself into it.
Okay, cool. Do you have an actual invitation?
Probably not with her name on it. I'm thinking it was probably sent to the church, and then they chose which representative they wanted to send out.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm down with that.
Like a kid sneaking into an R-rated movie.
Yeah, so you arrive at full Tammer slot, very excited, with a lot of energy and a lot of enthusiasm, bright-eyed, right?
Yep. Taking in all the sights, all excited, and...
Yeah. Did they explain to you what the Masquerade Ball was? Like, do you have any idea what you're in for?
It's a dance?
Yes, that'll be part of it. Okay, cool. Yeah. So I mean, like when you arrive, and they help you off the carriage, they're a little more prepared now because people are starting to show up, even though it's a little early. They help you out, and they look at you. Like, what's the level? Are you in like the fanciest dress robes they had for you at the church, or are you looking pretty average?
She probably went with something fancy. The dress is all masquerade and everything. She has a mask, but it's all decked out in like Paylor and churchy sort of symbols,
resplendent sort of. Yeah. Okay. High or low?
Low.
Okay. So they look at you and they're like, yes. And one of them just like claps his hands twice, and like 3 more of the servants just show up right behind him and say, "Don't worry, we have everything taken care of for you. Would you like a tour of your cottage first, or would you prefer to wait until the party has arrived, madam?"
Well, I'll take a tour.
So very good, very good. And he says, my man here, and he rattles off some name that you are not required to remember, and he says it with such disdain that you could barely catch it anyway. Says he shall show you to your quarters, of course. I apologize. What the hell would the word be? He says something to the effect of your partner is not here yet.
Partner?
You ask. You're trying to get clarification.
Yeah.
He goes, yes, indeed, madam. Of course. The Black Ember. He has not yet arrived, but I assure you, all of the rooms will be as he described, as he elaborated, and it shall be quite up to your specifications. Yes.
She still looks confused.
Yes, I understand. The Order of the Black Dawn and all. A little more quiet. I shall silence my awful tongue until such time as he has given me permission to speak his name. Yes, please, go with my pathetic manservant. We are as ash before your majesty.
I shall be right back.
Did my audio cut out?
No, I was waiting to see if Squid said anything.
Oh.
And I was also typing in chat.
I'm just...
Everything went silent.
Yeah, everything went silent, and Tristan left, and I was just watching his Ray eat food in silence.
Okay, cool. So they take you. They're telling you a lot about the grounds and everything. They're stopping you every couple of statues, and they're like, look, and of course, this was donated by so and so. After the fight of wherever the fuck, right? And they're making a big show of how smart they are and how grateful and how much charity has gone into this place, but how much they give back to the community and for Paylor, of course. They've made sure to mention that several times.
She eats it all up. She's just absolutely fascinated.
Yeah, of course. And he takes you. This will be your cottage here. You have both the first and the second floor, which is very exciting. Squid. It's decked out. There's an assortment of berries, fruits, figs, nuts, right? All sorts of things that'll keep for the next couple hours and everything. There's cool wine in a very fancy decanter, right? A full silver service. Yeah,
she gets wine.
What's that?
She gets wine.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they're all about it. They're really hamming it up. So yeah, you get in there, you start eating, and he says, "Please, is there anything else I can get you? Please, of course, the Black Ember has done so much for the island, and we're just very, very thankful that he was able to make time in his busy schedule here to meet us."
Does she know who the Black Ember is?
I don't know. What non-weapon proficiencies do you have? Do you have ramen eating?
Ramen eating?
Yeah.
I do not.
Oh, okay. Do you have history, heraldry, any kind of religion, nobility, knowledge local?
I think I sent them to you, but I don't see them on here.
I did start transferring them. Maybe I only transferred Riley's over. Shit.
I think
that I did take history local though.
I thought you took language.
Do you have religion?
Yeah, hold on.
You put it on the Facebook channel.
She put it on. Yeah. I'm sorry. I thought I transferred those over. Yes, she has history.
Etiquette, healing, religion, dancing, language is modern.
Yeah. Okay. So religion will be good. You'll have a... Because I think you want to roll
Can I
under.
roll, or?
Yeah, so you'll roll against wisdom, and I think you want to roll under, so roll with a -2. Okay. For some reason, it's not clicking. You know enough of the name, like it sounds enough. They said Order of the Black Dawn, and you're like, I definitely remember that. Like, it's something to do with the Church of Palor. Like, you're not 100% sure how and where and why, but like you're like, oh, okay, that checks out.
It's probably really frustrating her that she doesn't know it, though, because she feels she should know more about her church.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, completely reasonable. Like how, like, do you like really start tucking into a meal here, or are you just kind of like munching as they're talking, and then you're letting them take you around?
She is picking at everything, trying a little bit of everything, and if they're willing to keep taking her around on tour, she's totally into looking at everything.
Yeah, no, they do. He like starts like, I do apologize, madam. Of course, I mean no offense. Your time is very precious, and you once the party begins, you will have free reign of Velldammer, of course. But I must insist, just in accordance with all of our preparations, that now that you have seen the room, and clearly it is to your liking, for you did not tell me to change nary a single thing, I must ask you to retire to either the drawing room or the maps room.
Hey, that's fine. I'll go to the drawing room.
Ah, yes. Very good. Please come this way, and of course your bags may stay here. We will make some time later for you to change, if you prefer, unless you would, of course, want to take that time now. We are getting very near the beginning of the party.
I'll change now and then head to the room.
Okay, yeah. He obviously, walks out of the so they're like overgrown gazebos. Like, I mean, gazebo's not the right word because like they have walls, right? They're like little cottages that are like 1 to 3 stories. Each of them has like a balcony on it. Although, I mean, I guess it's a porch on the 1-story ones. They are hexagonal in design. They're pretty new, like maybe 4 to 6 months old, right? Just from like the smell of the fresh timber that has constructed them. Pretty much identical, other than some are a little bit bigger and some are a little bit taller. But yeah, most of them seem to like house, like 2 to 4 beds per floor. You poking around at all, or you're good? You do what you need to do, and that's the end of that.
She's excited for the party, so she's going to take her time getting ready, and then...
Sure. Yeah, let me see how annoyed this guy is. Okay. Yeah, he's willing to be pretty patient at this point. Like, you haven't done anything mean or rude. So yeah, he waits, and what? Half hour, 45 minutes later, you're ready?
Yeah, about that time. It probably takes her more time to get into her dress than anything else.
Yeah, he's definitely, you can see he has grown impatient while waiting, but he is not bold enough to actually cause a scene. Oh my goodness.
As soon as she's ready, she apologizes to him for the wait.
Yeah, no, think nothing of it, madam. I am... Please, waiting here for you and being able to give you a tour has been much more exciting than decorating the Grand Hall. The amount of time it's taken us to... But I can't speak of that yet. Yes, please, come with me. Alright. Tristan, are you ready?
Hello. I'm more than ready.
Alright. You have arrived with someone else going to this party.
Ooh.
Let us find out who it was.
Ooh.
I need you to roll me a d20 and decide if you have been coming by land or by sea.
I know I was coming by land.
Okay.
In a lavish. No, I'm not. Chariot's not the word. Cart. Carriage. That's it. Like in a nice carriage, there's like a cloth over the windows. Driver dressed nicely, comfortably. I want him to be. I like the various people who are helping me out and doing jobs for me to be treated nicely.
Yeah.
He has a couple gold in his pocket as a tip and thanks and payment for taking me here.
Sure, of course.
He rides up, doors open. He's fully dressed in his garb already. It's got blacks and some whites and reds and a whole lot of very deep purples and even some almost pinks into like the reddish kind of colors. Very warm. Nice looking outfit. He has his mask already on. His hat which is probably a more like a deep purple, almost black, with a deep red crimson ribbon on it, and tucked into that a feather that is larger than it probably should be.
Very nice. So what was your mask again? Which one did you go with?
I went with the illusionary. There's kind of just a basic one, but it projects a visage, which I think they're kind of like vaguely. They're also a deep purple, and can switch between like 2 or 3 with slight emotion in them. Like the expression can change just a little bit on each one.
Nice.
But it's like you'll get like a more humanoid one, a couple of different animals in there. The traditional like theatrical comedy tragedy are definitely there.
Yeah, definitely an option. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yes.
So how was it that you came to? Because it sounds like this is your carriage, right?
Yes. Almost certainly.
How is it that Iris Wright, who is like the representative of like the God, I'm going to try and say it. Stalburgus Research Academy, like came to ride with you?
Oh, well, you see, a while back we met in. I was doing a performance. I was doing a show, and we met there. And the head of this research academy wanted to enjoy the scene, enjoy the performance. We met afterwards, found him an incredibly interesting fellow, and I offered that since he was coming here anyway, and I was as well, he could give his stable hands the night off and give them some rest,
Sure.
And he could ride with me. We could chat, just have a lovely time.
Okay. Just point of clarification: Iris Wright is a female.
Okay, she could give her people.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes. The rest of that though.
Yeah. Do you have arcane or history as any sort of non-weapon
I
proficiency?
have. As a bard, I default with non-weapon or with local history.
Oh, why don't you go ahead and roll that? That's going to go for intelligence, I think.
Oh, it goes off of charisma.
Oh, much better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you schmoozed with the right people?
So I need an 18 or under.
Wow, these rolls.
Oh!
Wow. Okay. So you didn't really know a lot about her other than like she is like the like dean of like the Mage Academy. Like she founded the research academy here on Southern Tomoto. And you were like, "Oh, that's very interesting. That's very fascinating." And you like got her talking, and then like what distracted you on the ride in so that now you have no idea how she got here or what she's been doing with her time, but she thinks you're like a very good listener.
Gotcha. Well, you see, as we were going, I'm assuming the party's getting into not full swing, but it's like getting geared up.
Yeah. You're arriving basically at dusk, which is when everyone was supposed to arrive because they were going to light up the entire like house. It's like a mansion. It's not really a castle. It does have turrets, but and like the crenellations. But they were gonna light it up with just like this vivid red flame, and the whole place was just supposed to look like it was on fire.
Beautiful. So basically, he's like imagining like, ooh, I'll go through this, and I'll dance with this person, and then I'll play this song, and he's like basically planning out his dream party to take place at this one. He's like, oh yes, definitely. Most certainly. It's like just happens to go along really well with what she's saying.
Right, you have like
she's
the perfect timing. She's like waiting just like a little long, and she's like, "Oh yes, he is listening. Yes,
exactly."
Oh, that's terrible.
And he has the mask on, so she can't see that he's kind of like looking up. So she's just seeing him with his hand on his chin, facing her, going, definitely.
Yeah, no, that
perfect.
That sounds about right. That sounds like the Lysander that I know.
Yes.
Right? Am I saying that correctly?
Oh yes, definitely.
Yeah. So you guys arrive. She hadn't put her mask on before, but she magics it out of thin air. And it is a very simple, very classic crescent moon, right? That kind of tapers up across both of her eyes and drops very far down, like across one of her arms. And it's got a nice, blue gold shimmer to it and everything. And she's like, now just remember, don't be startled when, I do the full reveal. I told you what would happen.
No, most certainly. Don't worry. I've seen some spectacular things in my time.
And she laughs. She says, well, I'm looking forward to talking to you more later. I really appreciate you agreeing to, help me out with that spell.
Of course, any time. I could hardly refuse someone as learned as yourself.
You got a bluff in there somewhere?
I'm saying something. I never said I know what she's talking about. I'm just saying she's learned.
Okay. All right. Yeah. She smiles once and the carriages come to a complete stop, right? Full hammer slot. Lush with these vivid reds and everything, right? And there must be 70 or 80 people on the outside, ducked behind the the hedges, right? Where they're just kind of slowly moving, big colored candles and sheets of glass and mirrors to make the entire place slowly move.
Nice.
And this is just like a red carpet, right? Where there's 6 or 7 carriages that are all pulled up and people are beginning to pour out of them and everything.
Lovely.
Yeah. And she says, well, will you help me out?
Of course, madame. And I very gracefully help her out of the carriage.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
This is good.
The party is finally in full swing. So we kind of just do that establishing shot where we see both Iris Wright and then Lysander. Last name?
Lysander Rosenstern.
Lysander Rosenstern. Beginning to go up the steps once again.
Lysander G. Rosenstern?
Yes, we know. We got it.
Sir.
Right, lots of people, lots of laughter, drinks already being poured, right? And you two now, on full display, have seen the 3 butlers, right, on their little silver, gold, and platinum podiums, right? One in the shape of a lion or some sort of giant cat, one in the shape of a bird, and then one the silver one seems to be a poodle. It's just, or maybe some sort of sheep. It's got big fluffy chunks on its back and a little ball nose.
Oh no.
You're not really sure what's happening there, but they tried. They're trying to make it interesting. Yeah.
Magnifique, wonderful, good try.
Both the drawing room and the map room have been thrown open. And then as well as the actual dining hall, which you can now go in. So I think that we we're watching Lysander and Iris Wright go up the steps, and I'm curious to see what, if anything, do we meet? Can't think of names. Leopold and Gwen. Yeah, are they in conversation, or are you guys elsewhere in the rooms?
So I definitely, before the party started, I went back and changed 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want a little scene there, or do you want us to see you in the mask?
I don't need a little scene. I just I get sick of there not being wine, so I just go back and just change.
Right.
That's pretty much it.
I think when you come back out, right, you've been there potentially swilling turpentine for 2.5 hours, and they're finally someone brings you a glass. They're I thought you might want this.
It's like, oh yes, thank you. I was really liking this. It was very vintage. What is this?
And you show it to him.
Tarpentine, yes.
Tarpentine.
He like looks at it. He goes, "How much of that did you drink, my lord?"
Just a few glasses.
He goes, I think we brought another healer here. I'll be right back. Don't go too far. And he just like scuttles away.
Alright. But yeah, eventually when that got sorted out or what, I definitely turned in my little number to get my things.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, your things are in the cabin, but yeah, they'll send you to your cabin. All
right.
Which you
That's what I would have done.
Yeah, you are up here.
Up.
Ooh, which cabin am I? I should definitely ask. And see if I can schmooze for a bigger one.
So well, and then I fucked up the E.
That was good. It's fine.
So well. I actually didn't pick one for you, Tristan. Go ahead and roll a D6.
Oh boy, come on.
Get the big one.
Yes, I hope that's good.
Yeah, you got a big one.
Yes. Oh, I love that one. It's gorgeous. It's right in the end. I can. Hopefully, there's like doors out around back. I can go for a nice evening stroll, the moonlight. Inspirational.
Yeah, a romp, as you will.
A romp, indeed.
Yeah. Cool. So we got a little bit of schmooze happening. People are good. People are feeling good. Nope, don't do that. Just wanted to delete the tiny little noodly there. Can't do it. Can't do it with this equipment.
Oof.
I don't know what I did, but that little brown... Oh, there we go. So that little brown stain's there forever.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so there are a numerous amount of people in this party, right? Like, we're just starting to get to the full swing. They're giving you, like, 20, 30 minutes to, like, get in the room, get situated at your tables, and then they have, like, a lot of things to tell you about the party tonight. So I'm just wondering if anyone's, like, doing anything in particular, or if we should cut to...
I feel like before their characters got in, I was already sitting down at my table and schmoozing with other nobility or people who were there.
Go ahead and roll me a D19, for we have already established where one of the NPCs is.
Okay.
This is we're really showing off Roll20 and all its abilities right now. You can roll a D19 and it definitely doesn't lose its mind. The same roll as last time, in fact.
Oh, wow.
Where are you?
So just subtract 1, maybe?
Yep, no, I'm good. I got it. So you've been schmoozing with an elven wizard named Gaelgol. And
Gaelgol.
Yeah, Gaelgol. He's been trying to become an instructor at the Magic Academy in Fermo. And like, how would you like classify your conversation? Are you here to like prove something to him? Are you genuinely interested in the things he's saying? Or are you just like using him as leverage later?
Like a little bit of leverage and trying to be as like interested in him as possible, even though I'm not.
Yeah.
So
No,
just like
he's
really engaged, but not really.
Yeah, he's like really uninteresting. Like he's an illusionist, and that's about like the most interesting thing about him. Because afterwards, he basically tells you he has no friends, and someone stole his basically his thesis on like illusion magic. They stole like all of his work. This rival named Corindral, and yeah, he's like, so he fell into like working for some mercenaries for a while. And he's, like, actually really bitter about it. Like, this isn't what he wants to be doing. He's wasting his talents. He really, like, you know, he could really do a lot to, like, help out the youths and teach them about magic and all the wonderful things it could do if he could just, like, not be getting screwed over all the time.
That is such a noble cause. I'm so sorry that has happened to you. I couldn't understand why no one would be honored to be in your presence.
You got, like, a bluff in there somewhere?
I mean, you want me to bluff? I can bluff.
No, I'm not too worried about it yet. I think it's early enough in the night that people are still willing to believe you're good people.
Okay.
You know, that'll change. That'll change later as things go on. But yeah. So he's very thankful. He's like feeling good. Like someone listened to his plight. Someone made him feel good, and he goes, like, thank you. Did you give him your name?
Of course.
Yeah.
I introduced myself like immediately upon meeting new people.
With your real name?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, he thanks you. He's like, Leopold, I feel like we've made quite a pact here, and I will remember this night forever, and I thank you.
Oh, most definitely. You have a wonderful evening.
Yeah, and he says, if you have any issues, look for my captain. His name is Errol Castor. He's here as a guest, but he also has lended some of us as security. So if anything goes wrong, Errol Castor, that's who you need to speak to.
Aerocaster. Oh, thank you very much for that information. I will take it to heart.
Yeah, and then he gets up and starts wandering around talking to people.
Okay.
Squid, you have just been seated at this table. I'm gonna be a little ham-fisted and just shove all the players into one table. Are you doing anything in particular?
She's probably happily chatting away with anybody else that's at the table. Because it's probably the first wine she's had other than sacramental wine at the church that's dry and bitter and everything. So she's probably enjoying a little more than she.
Right. Okay.
Probably got a nice blush to her cheeks now and getting a little good.
Oh no, she's getting wasted.
Yeah, definitely getting wasted, as you do at a very dangerous, high-profile soiree. Okay.
What are you talking about? It's a dance.
What's that?
What are you talking about? It's a dance.
Oh yeah, definitely a dance. Nothing else will happen at the dance. Totally safe. No battle maps or monsters or nothing. What's that?
So is this how you win the game?
Yeah, this is how you win D&D. If you kill the other players, you win.
I don't think that's how that works.
Mm-hmm.
I've done it before. I won.
You left one alive.
Yeah, so Tristan, how does Lysander make his appearance? He's got there's only a minute or two left before they're gonna start doing their boring thing up on the main stage there. So you said we're all seated at the same table. Is it just us three? Who else is at the table? Oh no, it is not just you, of course.
Oh my ass.
Yeah, no, there is one other individual because Gaelgol will come back.
Okay. Gaelgol's at our table and a fifth.
Yes. Yeah.
So I would like to. Pardon me. Since currently, one gentleman was just talking to a elfish wizard-looking fellow who walked away, and one woman seems to have partaken in a bit too much of the drink, and the other one has walked away. I, being the fourth, shall talk to the fifth.
Oh well, sure. So I think that you're looking around, you're going, both of them look terribly uninteresting. I don't want to talk to them, right?
It's not that. It's just one of them was already having conversation, and the other one is a little to drink. So I may as well have a chat with the person who is both there, not just had a conversation, and sober.
Yeah. So from the back room, not the back room, but the back of the hall, right? There is a series of firecrackers that go off all at once, right? And
excellent.
In just it's not like there's so much smoke that someone could have stepped out from a trapdoor or behind a curtain, right? There's enough smoke that you've thrown down a handful of firecrackers, and then out of the smoke, the world just parts, and out steps a red and gold skinned humanoid female. She has 2 sets of horns. Both of them are first year, like a 2-point doe, right? And then another 2, right? And they are on fire, right? They are liquid brass, and they are just pouring in flame. And she has ruby or crimson like lacquered nails, and she like just steps out of the smoke right when this like firecrackers go off, and the whole room is just like completely silent, and she has just this, you know, very sheer, very I suck at describing dresses. I don't know. It's got a lot of folds and shit. There's a lot to it. There's a lot going on.
Dress.
It's a
So
good
many terry folds.
What'd you say?
So many terry folds.
Terry folds, is that a term?
It is a term, but I'm thinking of a song.
Yeah, you know, she's like wrapped all up, bundled around in it. I don't know. She's making it work, right? And she's like walking like with purpose and confidence, just kind of like slipping through like the many tables. And like at first, if people were really excited about what was happening and they were like, oh my goodness, like a performance, yes, the audience has turned on her, and they are now like, there are people like speaking to each other like, I can't believe she's here, and like, oh yes, detract from what you really are, miss, yeah, right? Like there is a scandal going on, and she walks through the majority of the hall, right, coming from this basically this back hallway, and sits herself at your table.
I say hello, and I apologize on behalf of all the other guests for their incredible rudeness to a fellow guest here. It's deplorable. This is supposed to be an evening of joy and celebration, and people are acting that way. It's awful. My apologies.
Yeah, and she kind of regards you and takes you in for several moments before speaking. How do you take this silence while you're waiting for her to respond?
I'm assuming she's kind of sizing me up, or whatever the applicable term would be, figuring out who I am, what I'm doing.
Yeah, I think that's
I roll
fair.
with it.
Yeah. Okay. So you just sort of wait, and she answers you in. You don't, I imagine, speak Infernal, do you?
Sadly do not have Infernal. I have Common, Elvish, Goblin, and what was the one you said was more common? Halfling?
Yeah.
And Halfling. So I do. Sadly, Infernal was not one I had at the ready.
Mm-hmm.
Too bad it's not written. I could try and figure it out if it was written.
Yeah. She says something in Infernal, and she looks at you and sees there's no recognition in your eyes, and she like. I have grown quite accustomed to these reactions.
My apologies that you would be in such a situation that you would have to.
You will find there are many here who think of themselves as much more than they are.
It's the sad truth of high society.
And she smiles a little at that, and she starts to like clear her throat again. And then she immediately like doubles over, holding onto the table, and like, you know, grabs like she probably doesn't grab a fold, but like some sort of like kerchief, right? And you can see that she's just coughed up blood.
Do you need to see a doctor, or are you okay?
I mean,
Gwen immediately jumps up and starts offering to check her out and see what's wrong.
Yeah.
I kind of pull Gwen, like, I kind of whisper, just be careful, she seems to be some infernal healing magic may have undesired consequences. We don't want to hurt her.
Yeah, she's doing that thing where she's like, give me some space, right? And she's coughing, and like the whole room, like, it's as if someone just, you know, like, passed gas and they all know who did it, right? Everyone is just like scrunched to their nose and turned it up and is looking in every direction but hers. Right, and she's still like coughing, a pretty vicious wet cough for a moment.
What a way to show up.
Yeah. So Lysander and Gwen, both of you go ahead and roll me a wisdom check. Riley, you can do the same if you would like, but you have a penalty because you are not as close to this.
Okay.
Oh, I think I actually got that.
What's the penalty?
Yep, I got it.
You're gonna add 2 to your roll.
So 7.
Okay, so everyone got it then, huh?
Nice.
She coughs. Right, I mean, she's been coughing, but she coughs one final time, and like it's very clear that there's blood on the tissue, more or less, right? Like that's not the concern. But what you notice that no one else does because no one else is watching close enough, her eye pops out, and it's just this. It just sort of falls and is just like suspended on this like pseudopod of her flesh. And it's just like dangling there, and then just as quick as it's sucked back into her eye socket.
Okay, well at least that's back.
Do
she's
I
okay.
know what that is?
I mean, you saw what you saw. You can ask me questions about it if you like, but I don't think anything jumps immediately to your mind besides Jesus Christ, that's not good.
So you said her eye pop. Was it like hanging out like stereotypical like eye thingy?
No,
that keeps it in your head.
Yeah, not by like the ocular nerve, but by
that
like
thing.
an entire like her flesh melted away and then just sucked back in.
Oh, so it's like zombied and then unzombied.
So Gwen is standing there wide-eyed, just like staring at her as she's trying to process through her brain everything that she's ever read about healing and diseases and stuff to try and figure out what this.
Yeah, eyes aren't supposed to do that.
But it's not polite to stare.
That's true. The more you think about it, especially like in context of like medicine, it reminds you of like a snail or a slug's eye, which can be like pushed out further.
Oh yeah, the eye stalks.
I mean, she doesn't seem to panic or, she gains her composure. She politely, like, folds the tissue and, like, pockets it away in one of her many dress folds, I guess. I don't know what you do with it. Maybe she has a bag. And she just takes her seat, seemingly not affected by the situation.
Okay.
I'd like to... well, actually, where is she? She's the farthest from me, isn't she?
No.
I'd like to sit next to her, but I don't know if I have the choice.
Yeah, you can sit next to her. That's fine.
Yeah.
I just kind of wanted to lean in, and I'm like, I'm sorry, are you terribly ill or something?
That's not a... You don't ask a lady something like that. At a formal gala.
She puts her hand up, and you get like a nice close-up of like the pristinely lacquered, right, like red fingernails that she has. They're about 1.5 inches long, and they are very sharp. And she says, it's quite all right. I've created such a scene. Yes, I am afraid my lungs, my constitution, as it were, is never quite designed for this plane.
How long are you able to stay here safely? Don't overexert yourself.
I'm afraid I shan't be leaving anytime soon, but no, it's quite all right.
Okay. If there's anything I can do to aid you, just ask.
Quite the same. I am an esteemed doctor in this plane.
I just have a fiddle.
So you are both so very kind, and thank you. And she puts her hand on yours, Gwen, if you allow that.
Yeah, she does.
And she's like, you were very sweet to come to my aid. I can't promise it won't happen again, but I can tell you it's something I've grown quite accustomed to these many years, and I will be all right.
Okay.
Gwen goes ahead and takes her seat.
Yeah. So, like, the room is, like, there's still some energy. Some people are still, like, a little annoyed. Some people are still, like, just more interested and excited about the party and everything. And then Lord Velldammer comes out, and he is a tall, imposing, right, like, short military haircut, short cropped beard, but very full, square-jawed, and just, like, he's covered in, like, deep, rich, black, like, robes and a thick wool cape. And he comes out, and he just, like, strikes the ground once with, like, a walking stick that he doesn't seem to need, but he keeps around anyway. In the room, just, pretty quickly falls in. This is the person who organized the party, so They're not going to be rude.
No, quick side note.
Yes.
Am I allowed to have my rapier with me as like a
Yes.
part of my outfit? Okay.
Yep. They have not taken weapons from anyone.
Okay. My rapier, my fiddle.
Yeah.
I'm all good.
And he says, "Thank you all for coming, and on such short notice too." And the room is just waiting with bated breath. And he turns and he looks at, like his major domo, right, who realizes he takes the cue and leans in and says, "For your entertainment tonight, we have 3 games selected. In every room, there is a colored bead hidden somewhere. The table with the most beads by dessert shall win a grand surprise. From our assorted vault and collected works, of course." And there is some polite applause. The majordomo continues. "In addition, the servants you passed along your way in, 3 of them were all dressed quite differently than you are tonight." And then they begin to walk in, and they're like, like the cat's doing like a, right, walking out with his hands up and everything, and the bird's like, very, and then,
Oh no.
yeah, he's down on 4 legs, and he's like growling though. You're not quite really sure what's going on there. And he goes, "Please, I introduce you to Bruce, Glebe, and Johannes Baggins."
Oh no.
Yes.
"Our silver, our gold, and our platinum adorned masters of misinformation and obscurity. Each shall pass along 1 clue and then hide for the evening until discovered by a member of the party."
Oh.
Oh my yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Bruce the Gold, right, jumps forwards and he's like, "Ha!" Right? And he goes, "Meow meow," but only after a feeding, and he just runs out of the room.
Oh, that's easy.
And then Glebe, the platinum, right, just very delicately flaps his little arms forwards, and he goes, "With so many eyes, can I see in the dark?" And he just runs out of the room. And then the silver Johannes Baggins, right, sort of trundles his way up to the front of the little podium, right? And he just, with very squat arms, just goes, "I never much cared for farming." And he just runs out of the room.
Okay.
And the audience just really loves it. They're really getting into it. Because at first it was like, oh yes, oh yeah. And then Johannes Baggins comes out and just, it's a whole raucous event. And,
oh, Johann Baggins.
yeah, a lot of energy. And then the majordomo looks back at Lord Velldammer, and Lord Velldammer strikes his staff once on the ground, right? And he says, "The 3rd game is a surprise. You will find out later. And now, appetizers, and then a brief 1-hour cocktail." And he just walks out of the room.
Is it bad I'm picturing Scruffy?
No, it's not bad. That's completely fine. Cool. Yeah. So food is very quickly brought in by a dozen or so servants, and all of them they have been painted, they have been they've been adorned. They're not fantastic or anything, but they're clearly identifiable, and they are well trained and well behaved.
Great. So did the game start, or is it starting at a later time?
Yeah,
I think they've started already.
Yeah, the games have indeed started. Yep.
Oh, good.
It is about 6:15 right now, between everyone getting settled, everyone moving around and whatnot. There are for terms of gameplay, there are lots of people around. There's probably close to 70 or 80 people in the party right now, as well as that's not counting servants or anything. There are 20 NPCs that are worth interacting with. Not to say that you can't talk to anyone, but like most of them will default to like 2 or 3 lines, and then realize they need to fuck off somewhere else.
Someone stole your sweet roll.
Yeah.
They start repeating the same thing they said.
Exactly.
Mother made this dress.
Yeah. So I think I just want to get like a quick little vignette of what each of the party members are doing, and then we're going to cliffhanger it for the first night.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a little bit shorter of a game, but we had to get everyone introduced.
Yeah.
Start the scandals. So does anyone have an idea of what they would like to do?
So anyone mind if I go first?
Go ahead.
No? Okay. So I'm intrigued in this Finding the 3 Painted Men game.
Yeah, as I figured you would be.
It's interesting. So could I go up to a member of the staff and ask a couple questions, just to first make sure I know what areas, how much of the grounds we are allowed to have access to. I don't want to go anywhere restricted.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so because you have to like chase them down a little because they're like deliberately not supposed to interact with you. But then you're like, excuse me,
Pardon
I have
me,
a word.
sir.
Yeah. So you finally pin somebody down. He says, yes, of course, how may I be of assistance? Whatever it is you need, I shall fetch it at a moment's notice.
It's nothing that I need per se. I would just like to know where am I allowed to go on the grounds of this marvelous mansion. I don't want to go anywhere disallowed.
Yeah, so no, of course. That's a great question. So everything on the first floor is open, and the first floor is the floor we are on now. There's a set of stairs that lead you up, and there's a set of stairs that lead you down. Unfortunately, until dessert is over, no one is allowed into the basement, and nor will you find any of the games taking place down there. So please do not feel as though you should have to go down there for any reason.
Ideal. How about the second floor?
The second floor is, of course, open, and you will find if you are not a how should we put it? If you like to watch from afar, the second floor is perhaps for you.
I see. Thank you. And one other thing, I seem to have a small rip in my outfit. Do you have a sewing room or somewhere where I could go mend that?
Because, the sewing room. I can take care of that for you, yes. Would you prefer I bring you the tools, or would you prefer one of us take care of that for you?
I prefer to I was more looking for if there was somewhere where I could do it myself. I don't want to put any more work. You are all doing such an excellent job, and I don't wish to add to your workload.
Yes, and he gives you directions up to the second floor.
Okay.
In one of like the many like studies and everything, that there's like a couple like sundries, basic sundries and whatnot that will be able to suffice for your needs.
Cool.
What do you actually want a sewing room?
I mean, that's the first thing that came to mind is of having many eyes. If you have that many needles, the eye of each one. I don't know. That or potatoes, but I really hope it's not potatoes with the other farming one. Then I also get to admire the second floor. Maybe there's a gallery with paintings or statues.
Yeah, okay. Cool. So I like that. So do we see you going up the stairs? Is that like the vignette?
Yes, it's me very gracefully, artfully, maybe chatting along the way. It's like, oh, lovely to see you. Oh, excellent. Oh, dashing out, but just like dishing out compliments.
Yeah.
All sincere.
About halfway up the stairs, you look over, and you can see Galgal, the illusionist that you saw before. He's going down into the basement.
Oh.
So you're going. I think the upstairs is this one. I don't know why I didn't notate it.
Okay.
But yeah, you can like see into like the well, right? Just because of the angle. And Galgal is going down into the basement right now.
That's not allowed until. If I see a member of the staff, I shall make it noted.
You fucking narc.
Wow.
Okay. Riley and Squid, what are you up to?
I'm trying to mingle and kind of listen in on other people's conversations, kind of like gain some sort of leverage or just something like of note, of interest, of worth to me.
give me like a little more context. Do you want to find out a secret that no one else knows here? Do you want to like get something on like the owner of the house and the party? Like, do you need someone that'll like kill for you? Do you need someone that'll like give you a moment to escape later?
I'm looking more for
Deniable asset?
like secrets, I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
Probably towards like, yeah, I guess like the people that work here, like servants or just the owner, like the general people in charge of the party.
Okay. Yeah, so you're kind of like poking around a little bit, and you end up in a conversation with the Marquise de Lenentac. De Lenentac. There we go. Yeah. You had history, right?
I have heraldry.
Heraldry? Yeah, go ahead and roll me that. Heraldry is a non-weapon proficiency.
Oh gosh. Do I roll for that? That is a question.
Heraldry. I think it's intelligence.
I think so. Alright, cool.
Yeah. Okay, you're solid. You seem to remember studying like a battle, right? I know I have the battle notated somewhere. I'll have to look it up for you. Where basically the Marquise de Lentac sent, like, a overwhelming army to basically cut off like a dwarven like caravan that was like resupplying. This was back maybe like 12, 14 years ago. And it was like a trick. The dwarves had like led the overwhelming like human and elven force into like a box canyon, and they had buried a bunch of like dwarven commandos with guns. And this was like the first time guns were used like in like real full scale warfare. And then like all of like it was a huge like crushing defeat because like pinned with nowhere to go, right? Like the dwarves lost like 12 people and they killed like almost 2,000, you know what I mean? And just like completely obliterated this small skirmish. And the Marquise de Lentac was the one who had like ordered the everyone to rush in. And he like fled in the middle of the battle when he found out it was like going poorly. He just like abandoned his troops to like save his own skin. And that's like one of the reasons people come to the Tomoto Islands is to get away from or get away with things, right? Like it's like just lawless enough that like if you're not actively making things worse for people, they kind of let you do whatever.
Okay.
So he has been invited here for one reason or another, but you have this little bit of trivia on him.
Interesting.
Yeah, so do we just like see you, like do we see like the flashback when you're like studying this battle and you like see, right, like his name's written on paper, you see his heraldry, and then we like get a close-up of, like his signet ring or something, and you've like been able to piece it together?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay. Do you want to like say anything, or do we just see like the smirk come across your face and we know?
It's just a smirk. I'm never going to approach someone about the secrets I know.
Yeah.
Unless the time is right.
Okay.
So
cool. No, I'm down. Okay. And then finally, Squid, where do we find Gwen?
She has abandoned the wine for a little bit to try out all these new and exciting hors d'oeuvres and is wandering around schmoozing with everybody, talking about Paylor and anything else that's a list.
Okay. Yeah. High or low?
We'll go high this time.
That's actually incredible. Actually, a crit in both directions both times. Cool. Well, we get to have like a really cool ending. What anywhere on this map that you can see, where would you like to be right now? Just go ahead and move your little figure to anywhere I mean, other than the cottage rooms, there's no reason you'd be out there right now. You just want to be at the other end of the Grand Hall?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you're standing right there, and you're, like, looking around, you're smoozing, you're, like, talking to, like, 2 or 3 people, or you're, like, trying to keep up with the conversations of 2 or 3 people, and there is, like, average height 5'8", 5'10", right? It's got, like, a top knot that comes, like, tied back up into, like, three braids, right? And it, like, spills down across his back and then over his shoulder, and it's like almost down to his waist, right? Like, very, very long. And you can see there are, like, 3 gold daggers that are, like, just kind of peeking through, like, you know, the cloak he has around him. And he's got, like, some studded leather armor. And you can see that it's, like, the studs are actually sunbursts, right? And he has a sunburst mask on. You know, like, just like a rising sun, basically. And he's, like, staring at you, and you, like, we do that whole thing where, like, all of the other sounds in the room vanish, and you're just looking at him, and he is, like, suddenly, like, run up to you, right? Like, just in 3 or 4 quick strides, and he's grabbed you by the arm, and he's, like, pulling you into here, right? And then, like, there's, like, 2 or 3 people, like, seated on, like, these back things, and they're like, oh, what was that, right? But they kind of don't think about it because you don't yell because you're, like, taken aback, right? Are you, like, getting ready to hit him or, like, yell? Like, what's your reaction when someone grabs a hold of you like that?
She probably lets out a quick startled squeak, and then once she, like, realizes what has happened, like, tries to push him away and is, excuse me, sir.
Yeah, definitely. And he goes, shh! And he, like, pushes you up against a wall, and right immediately on your left, his right, is, like, a wooden post, like a beam, and he reaches up, and he, like, gets, like, the lip of it, like, where, like, the 2 joints meet, and he pulls a little, like, metal ripcord, right? And just, like, a 3-foot room just, like, slides open, just turns, right? Like, Clue style, and he shoves you into it, and he follows you in behind it. And then it just very quickly turns behind him, and you are in this room that actually has no entrance. Right? And there are 2 fonts of holy water, right? And these are prayer mats that are out. And he's like, you're not the one they were supposed to send.
Is she staring at him for a second? And then it slowly starts to dawn on her.
Ha, get it? Dawn? Yeah. She goes, then you know who I... Or he goes, yeah, then you know who I am.
You cut out. I didn't catch that last part.
I'm sorry. He says, then you know who I am.
I know who they said you were.
Ashold Vax, the Black Ember. Assassin for the Order of the Black Dawn. They told me I would have a high-level operative. I need a high-level operative on this job. If we're to get this done in time before the Inquisition shows up. And he turns and he looks, and there's, like, one-way glass behind... Or not one-way glass, I guess it's like a peephole or something behind a painting, right? And we see his little eyes moving around and looking. He turns like, I hope you're ready. The Inquisition's going to be here soon. There's going to be a hell of a fight.
Ready for what? What are we doing?
We have to kill the Lord Velldammer before the Inquisition takes him.
Huh.
She looks utterly dumbfounded.
Oh no.
Right, and he's like, I told them I needed a high-level operative. And that's just like, we'll cut it right there.
Nice.
All right.
Oh no.
Well, that has concluded episode 21 of the Electric Dice Podcast, AD&D Tomoto Islands. Act 1, Arrival at the Velldammer Masquerade.
Nice.
Yeah. Got a suitable amount of drama and tension happening. Narcs everywhere to be seen. People going into rooms they don't belong in. And Tristan's going to find the painted men.
That's my goal.
Thank you very much. I am well behaved. Thank you very much.
Yeah, for now.
I'm not breaking any rules.
Yeah.
I'm good boy.
Good boy. All right, cool. Well, thank you everyone for playing. Of course, always great to have you. We missed a little bit there due to the holidays, but we're back with a vengeance. The dice rolls have certainly spoken. And yeah, we had a couple people watching tonight, so hopefully they enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
All right, so we're gonna get out of here, and we'll be back in 2 weeks with the continuation, Act 2, which is gonna be probably a little bit longer and definitely much more exciting.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
All right, bye.
Bye.